Marilyn, can you explain your role in the Kansas City, Missouri School District during the years between 1971 and 1997?
Yes, I was a elementary school teacher, and then I was a resource teacher with the school within a school project, and also a research teacher in staff development K-12. And then,
Go ahead.
forgot, resource teacher, science resource teacher at Knott's Elementary, which is a magnet school, was a magnet school with environmental science theme.
How many schools were you at? Were you teaching
Oh,
during this period of time?
several. Mainly Bancroft and Knott's, and then the other times I was resource teacher with the SWAS and with resource. Mm-hmm.
What efforts were put into place in Kansas City to integrate schools during this time period?
The Effective Schools project is what I was involved in. And it was 5 or 6 of the lower achieving schools. And they provided us with all kinds of in-service, the teachers. When I wanted to participate because in my mind, they were going on research and they were saying that teachers weren't doing this, this, and this. And of course, I thought I was the perfect teacher and that I was doing everything for my babies. And so I wanted to really get involved to prove research wrong. But what happened, especially when I took the TESSA program, Teachers' Expectations and Student Achievement, research proved me wrong. And I learned so much. And it was very invaluable to me. And I wanted every teacher to have that experience, but to be serious about it. I also took the time management in research studies, and just whatever they had available for us, I made sure that I was a part of it.
So they offered you quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yes. And it made a difference. Mm-hmm.
How did the community respond to these efforts to integrate the schools?
They were fine. I didn't hear any backlash from the communities.
What were some of the attitudes of the educators and school staff at that time regarding school integration?
Well, as far as the Effective Schools project, some of the teachers at my school did not want to participate, and they really didn't like it because people would come in and observe us, and they were of the mindset that they could close their doors and pull the blind if they wanted to. And so it took a while for some of them to come around, and some of them didn't come around. Some of them transferred to other schools that weren't in the project.
Do they see this as an intrusion on their teaching, or why didn't they want to participate?
I don't know. I can tell you why I wanted to. I told you why I wanted to, because I wanted to be the best teacher possible. So if research could teach me and tell me what I'm doing wrong, I wanted to make it better. As far as people coming into my classroom while I'm teaching, I had no problems with that, but I know that some of them did. Yeah.
What were some of the attitudes of the students at that time regarding school integration?
I don't think they really knew about it. I don't think they were bothered by it, you know. It made no difference to them. They were coming to school. And so I know with my project, with my teaching as a science resource teacher. Those children, we had the environmental science theme. Those children were so happy because they got to experience things that even I got to experience for the first time. And they were learning, and I was so happy with that theme, and they were happy, parents were happy, and then all of a sudden the money was gone, or the money was taken away.
In what ways do you feel that you contributed to school integration?
Probably by being the best teacher I could, and word of mouth. You know, parents may have wanted their children to come and be a part of what we were doing. That's being caring about all children. It didn't matter. I remember I had to talk parents into allowing their student to go on field trips, because these were some of the people who had just came over from another country and they weren't sure. And so I did that. I talked to them and reassured them, and so then to make sure that their children got a chance to experience everything we did. Mm-hmm.
Given your role in the district during 1971 to 1997, describe what you recall as academic outcomes for students.
The academic outcomes during that time were wonderful, because children were being introduced to things that they had never been introduced to. They had a lot of opportunities that maybe some of them never would have had. And they were learning. Everything was learning. It was like being a baby, and you're just learning everything. That's why I really love my environmental science theme. We went to museums, we went to zoos, we went to the water plant. Anything that had something to do with the environment, we went. Every child in our school went camping overnight. Well, the kindergarten didn't do overnight camping, but all the other grades did, and it's just wonderful because a lot of them would not have experienced that. When we had career day, we had people from all over coming in, talking to the children, showing them things, and they loved it. All I can say is that those babies were excited about learning. And so I believe that the academic outcomes reflected that.
Do you recall whether test scores improved during this period of time, or do they remain the same for students in the district, or do they fall?
They improved at the school I was in, okay? They improved. I even, when it was getting close to the end of my career, I requested to teach kindergarten again, because I wanted my career started with kindergarten, and I wanted to end it with kindergarten. Those children were such a joy. They were such a joy, and they had the reading program. Well, you know, we taught reading in the classroom, and then they had a reading program that they went to the computer lab for. And some of my children were reading second, third, and fourth grade levels. So their test scores improved. And I spoke with all my parents, and I told them, you don't have to buy books. Just take your child to the library, get a card, check out books, let them read them, take them back, get more, and a lot of my parents took me up on that. So it's I'm sure that the students at the school where I was, they improved.
What might have been some of the social outcomes for students during this period of time of school integration?
Okay, the social outcomes was, I think they were invaluable, because if you're living in one little neighborhood and you go to one church and you know all your neighbors and your friends in that community, then when you go to a magnet school and you have children coming from other communities, then they learn to get along with each other. I mean, they learned from each other and they learned to get along with each other. So I believe that the social outcome was very important.
How do you think school integrations shape the Kansas City community?
Well, when it started out, during the period that I experienced, it helped a lot. It shaped it, because when you're trying to draw other students in to our district, then you have to provide what they're looking for. You have to provide the best that you know, in education, and the best in opportunities that they couldn't get somewhere else. And so I believe that it helped to shape the Kansas City, Missouri school district in a positive way.
As an educator, an experienced educator in the urban community, what changes do you think we need now to improve outcomes for students in our community?
We need a lot. We need to provide preschool for all children. We need to provide opportunities so that parents can come to school and fit into the concept of school, the concept of children behaving so that they can learn. And some of the parents need that, because some of the parents can't control their children, and if they can't control them, how can we? And so we need to just kind of start all over at the beginning. And even though we have these that have already started, we need to provide services for them. It could be after school opportunities, so that when parents work, they don't have to worry about their child being a latchkey child. They could have organized activities for them. And we have that in some of the schools. But it's going to be a whole mindset that we need to have. I believe that we need to go back to it takes a village to raise a child. And that's not just parents and school teachers. That's everybody involved. So some kind of way we've got to get that going. That's what I feel will help.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with us about school integration in Kansas City?
I'd like to say that I am so happy that I was a part of it, of the DSEG and the effective schools. I am so happy that I was a part of that, because I know it helped me immensely as a teacher. It helped me be more aware of each child and their need, and not me thinking that they'll be okay, or maybe they don't want to be called on to answer, but to give that child a chance to answer. If the child, stuttered, and I'm thinking, well, I don't want to embarrass him. No, I had to get out of that and call on that child and give him a chance to answer. And every time they did. And I am just very happy that I had that opportunity to be a part of all the research and to learn all of the things that I learned to have all of the in-services. So I'm very pleased with it. I just hate that they ran out of money. I think education should be number one priority in our society, and it is not. And so I hate that. I believe that if they placed a higher priority, if society placed a higher priority on education, then that means we would draw the best teachers possible, and they would get paid, because it is a very challenging job, you know. And that's what I believe.